Ladies and gentlemen, you are here today because you've already overcome so much. Because you have passed challenges, faced your fears, and conquered obstacles that others may have been too afraid to even approach. You are standing on the other side of a struggle, and I want you to recognize the power within you. The pain, the sacrifice, the doubt, it was not in vain. Those battles, they were not a detour. They were part of the plan. You think this was by accident? No, my friend. Everything that you've gone through has prepared you for what lies ahead. But there are moments, aren't there? Moments when you feel like you're stuck. Moments when you think, am I ever going to make it? You question the road. You question the journey. You question your strength. You question your faith. Let me tell you something right now. You've already passed it. What do I mean by that? The tests, the trials, they don't determine who you are or what you're capable of. They reveal who you are. They're opportunities to expose your potential, to push you, to expand you. Every setback is a setup for something greater. Everything you've survived has equipped you to rise higher. Here's the truth. You were never meant to sit in a corner of the room and let life dictate terms to you. You were never meant to shrink down. You were created for greatness, and guess what? You passed the tests. You're not just someone who has survived. No, you are someone who has been elevated. You see, we think that passing something means it's over, but the truth is, when you pass it, you level up. You step into a new chapter of your life that's more powerful, more purposeful. There are people who face the exact same challenges you've been through, and they stay stuck. They spiral into despair. They never step into the best version of themselves. Why? Because they don't realize that you've passed it. You passed the test. You became stronger. Every wall you hit, every door that seemed closed, it was all preparation for you to break through, to rise. And now, today, the work doesn't stop, but your belief should be stronger than ever, because if you've passed it once, you can pass it again. So look at where you are right here and right now. Look at the strength within you, the power within your heart. Look at all the opportunities ahead. This is the reward for passing the test, for persevering, for refusing to settle. Take a moment and congratulate yourself. Look back, see what you've accomplished, and know that the best is still ahead. You have passed it. Now it's time to lead your life in a way that shows the world exactly who you are. From here, everything you do will be built on the foundation of strength, courage, and persistence. Keep moving forward. You're not just surviving, you're thriving. You passed it. Now let's make the next chapter even greater. You've already done more than you realize. You've walked through battles, confronted situations that seemed impossible, and found ways to persevere when many would have quit. When life presented obstacles, you didn't just step aside. No, you faced them head on. And right now, you're standing in the glow of the fact that you made it through. You may not even fully grasp the weight of what that means, but it's time for you to stop and acknowledge something truly important. You've already overcome challenges and obstacles that prepared you for even greater things. And it's because of those very trials that you're ready for whatever is ahead. The challenges you faced weren't mere accidents or unfortunate events meant to tear you down. In fact, they served as some of your greatest teachers. While others may have seen them as failures or setbacks, you saw opportunities. You might have felt pain, doubt, and fear at certain points along the way, but those challenges pushed you to discover things about yourself that you would have never known otherwise. If it wasn't for that moment when everything felt lost, would you have ever known your true resilience? If it wasn't for that obstacle, would you have uncovered your ability to persevere? Those moments of frustration, of thinking that you had reached the end of your rope, were actually pushing you to realize how strong you are, how capable you are of handling more than you ever gave yourself credit for. These obstacles gave you something far more important than the immediate victory. They gave you strength that cannot be taken away. They equipped you with wisdom, resilience, and an inner belief in yourself that can withstand whatever comes next. Let's stop for a moment and really break it down. You've already experienced moments when you weren't sure if you could go on, when the weight of life bore down so heavy that you could barely catch your breath. Yet you made it through. You endured those long nights of struggle, those moments of failure where it seemed like every step forward was followed by 2 steps back, and the setbacks kept coming without. Still, you kept moving, didn't you? Despite the exhaustion, despite the doubts that crept in from time to time, something deep within you refused to give up. That resilience, that drive, it didn't come from just good luck or circumstances. It came from a deep knowing that you could do this, that you would find a way to make it through. You were tested and stretched in ways that transformed you. And as you look back on those struggles, you can now see them for what they really were. Tools that strengthened you, sharpened you, and gave you the inner strength to move forward in ways that most people never learn. It's important that you acknowledge this truth because it shapes who you are now and who you'll become in the future. Too often, people get stuck on the idea that hardships are things they need to avoid or escape from, but life doesn't work like that. Struggles don't happen just to make us uncomfortable. They happen to help us grow. They force us to question, reflect, and ultimately evolve. When you don't look back on your past challenges with a sense of gratitude, it's easy to dismiss them as negative experiences, but the reality is different. Those challenges were the very seeds that helped you evolve into the person you are today. Sometimes it can be hard to see that in the moment. In those moments when things don't look good and everything around you seems uncertain, it's easy to focus only on the struggle. It's easy to get consumed by the fear, the frustration, the overwhelm, and the doubt that naturally rises in our minds. But if you step back and look at the bigger picture, you'll start to see that the greatest lessons always come wrapped in the toughest challenges. It's the test you thought you couldn't pass that later turns out to be the blueprint for your next level of growth. It's the relationship that fell apart, the job you lost, the plan that didn't work out. These aren't just roadblocks. These are detours designed to lead you to something better. Think about what would happen if you didn't face the trials that life threw at you. If you hadn't been through the fire, would you have found the level of focus you have now? If you hadn't felt lost at times, would you have found the courage to step up in your life and take charge? If you hadn't seen yourself fail, would you know the strength it takes to get back up again? Now, I know some people get discouraged and think that their struggles are a sign that they are failing or falling behind. But what if I told you that you're actually succeeding even when things don't look the way you thought they would? What if I told you that everything you've been through, every ounce of sweat, every tear, every frustration, and every point where you felt like you couldn't go on has been sharpening you for this moment? You may feel like you've only been surviving. You may think, how have I made it this far? But let me assure you, you've done more than survive. You've laid the foundation to thrive. You have already learned some critical lessons on this journey that many others haven't even begun to discover. You've learned what it means to keep going when it doesn't make sense. You've discovered what happens when you have a vision so clear that no failure, no difficulty can shake your focus. You've learned the value of self-belief and how to tap into it even when the world doesn't seem to believe in you. There's power in all of that. And here's the important part. Those lessons, the ones you've earned through blood, sweat, and tears, they don't just vanish. They stay with you. They're woven into the fabric of who you are now, and they remain in your subconscious as the strength you carry forward. Every test, every hurdle, every hardship became a source of fuel for the fire that is burning brighter in you. You are a person who has been shaped by what you've gone through, and your past is not a ball and chain holding you back. It's a foundation that's strengthening your resolve for the future. You've already completed your first real level of the game of life, and now the real challenge begins. You've passed what others could not. You've earned the power of experience, and this makes you unshakable. Whatever you've faced, whatever's coming next is just another step in the ongoing transformation of who you're becoming. Keep recognizing the growth that's taken place, and watch what unfolds next. The moment you face any difficulty, there's always a choice to let it define you or to let it refine you. Every single challenge you've faced, every obstacle that has appeared before you, is never just an isolated incident or a random twist of fate. Each test that has come your way has revealed something deeper about your own potential, about what you're capable of, and about the strength that was buried inside you long before it all started. These moments weren't intended to break you, even though it may have felt that way at the time. They were put in your path to unlock the next level of who you are, to force you to break through limits you didn't even know existed. Too often, when faced with adversity, we tend to think it's a sign that we're on the wrong path, that we've made some mistake, or that life is punishing us. We're tempted to view the hurdles in front of us as a signal to stop, as a sign that something is wrong. But what if I told you that these difficulties are not designed to block your path, but to propel you forward? The truth is, these trials, as tough as they seem in the moment, are nothing but an invitation to tap into something deeper, to tap into a strength that exists within you that you haven't fully acknowledged yet. They challenge your thinking, they stretch your limits, they take you beyond what you believe was possible. The trials you face reveal what's inside you that wasn't accessible before the challenge arrived. Without these obstacles, without these moments of struggle, how would you even know the depth of your own resilience? How would you understand what you're capable of when things get tough? Your mind may naturally want to look for reasons why this is happening to you, why the struggle feels too heavy, too overwhelming. You may find yourself caught in the cycle of why me, and ask questions that are aimed at finding answers that may never come. But what if instead of asking why me, you asked, what is this teaching me? What if you took a moment to step back and see that this challenge, the very thing that seems like an obstacle, is actually the opportunity you've been waiting for? What if the tests you're facing are not a roadblock but a stepping stone? When you begin to shift your perspective in that way, something powerful happens. The trial goes from something external trying to defeat you to an internal process of transformation that is actively shaping you into a stronger, more capable person. The challenges are not there to stop you, they're there to make you evolve. Every test reveals what you're truly made of. Every time you face resistance, every time things seem to fall apart around you, you have a decision to make, to back down or to push forward with an even greater force. And here's the thing about trials. They don't come to those who are weak. They come to those who are ready to level up. The most successful people, the most powerful leaders in history are not those who had an easy life. They are the ones who were thrown into battle after battle. And after each battle, they didn't just survive, they grew stronger. They evolved. They learned the necessary lessons to tackle the next challenge with even greater wisdom. Imagine for a moment that you could look at every difficulty you faced in the past and view it not as something that nearly took you down, but as something that actually gave you something important. The struggles you've been through didn't come to punish you. They came to teach you how much more you are capable of. Every failure, every setback, every no you heard along the way, they each had a reason to be in your life. You weren't simply bouncing from one difficulty to the next for no reason. You were being prepared. Those difficult moments broke down the false narratives you told yourself. They exposed the areas where you may have been too complacent or too comfortable, and they called forth the next version of you. The version that is equipped to face anything that may come next with unshakable confidence. In fact, challenges often highlight our hidden strengths. When the going gets tough, most people discover a power within themselves that they never would have recognized if life hadn't pushed them to their limits. Many times, the obstacles you've faced were the conditions needed for you to uncover qualities like tenacity, patience, resilience, and persistence. The true measure of who you are is never how you react when everything is easy. It's how you react when you've been hit with resistance, when you face something that feels insurmountable. It's in those moments that you find out what you are made of. If you haven't been tested, you can't be sure how strong your foundation really is. Those struggles give you clarity. They show you just how far you've come and how much further you're capable of going. Here's the kicker though. Every single test you overcome builds momentum. And momentum is a force that doesn't just help you get through today's challenge, it sets you up to conquer the next one. When you start seeing your challenges as stepping stones, as moments that strengthen you rather than limit you, you begin to get a sense of the power of momentum. The more tests you pass, the easier it becomes to move through life with confidence, because you start realizing with every hurdle overcome that there is nothing you cannot face. Each challenge, no matter how big or small, becomes a reminder that you have the ability to rise above anything that comes your way. With every difficulty, you accumulate the mental and emotional strength that will fuel you through the next phase of your journey. Don't forget that when you face something difficult and walk through it, you don't walk away with just the end result. You walk away with growth, experience, and wisdom. All the skills, all the strength, all the knowledge you've gained up until now, none of it came easily. Every success that has followed a challenge is there because you refused to back down, because you understood that challenges aren't signs of weakness, they're signs of growth. When you begin to look at life this way, you start seeing problems as opportunities. Every single hardship can be a key to unlock the door to the next level of your life, to your own personal greatness. The reason you survived is the reason you're stronger now. It's because you've already had to face fear. You've already had to look at something that scared you and said, I'm not afraid. I'm going to fight through this. I am going to grow because of this. That's what tests do. They force you to tap into your untapped potential. So when you encounter a test next, know this. It's not there to stop you. It's not there to knock you down and keep you down. It's there to make you rise. It's an opportunity to not just become someone who has made it through, but someone who is better because they fought their way through. Those tests, those challenges, they don't just give you the result. You get the growth, the wisdom, and as you level up, you begin to see just how much more you're capable of. There comes a point in everyone's life when they feel a shift, an undeniable change that signals something bigger is happening, something new is on the horizon. It's at these moments, when you least expect it, that you feel yourself push forward with an energy and clarity that can't be ignored. When you push through the challenging, exhausting times, you are being set up for something that you may have never dreamed of. You don't recognize it immediately, but when you face the hardships head on, you're actually rising. Every single obstacle you meet, every tough decision you make is only advancing you to the level that you were always meant to achieve. And it's true, passing through these moments, these tests, it's not the end, it's the beginning. People often think that getting through a struggle means that it's all over. The truth, when you pass a significant test, you don't just finish, you level up. It's a misperception that life ends after you get through a trial, that once you've pushed through adversity, the reward is peace. The reward, however, isn't peace, it's power. And this power doesn't come from escaping challenges. It comes from the capacity you've built to face them with new resolve. It comes from the insights, the lessons, and the growth you've experienced in that struggle. What you fail to realize in those intense moments of challenge is that you're not simply surviving or merely reaching the end of a difficult time. You're undergoing a transformation. You've been called to something greater, and every obstacle in front of you was preparing you to embrace what's next in the journey. Consider your life as a series of stepping stones. Each stone marks a phase of struggle, but each one is also a jump forward. When you're walking along a path, it doesn't always feel smooth or linear. It feels at times like you're jumping from one unstable surface to the next. But that's exactly how progress works. The ground doesn't always feel solid underfoot. There are pitfalls and it feels chaotic, unpredictable, and often far from what you imagined. But the key is knowing that each test you face adds something new to your arsenal. And that arsenal doesn't just let you cope with what's in front of you, it propels you. What lies on the other side is always bigger, always more meaningful than the simple illusion of a problem solved. You're pushing into the unknown, towards a person you are becoming. You see, the reason that people often get stuck is because they believe that the test, the challenge, is all there is. They get overwhelmed by the task at hand, allowing it to define them, but that's not how it works. Each struggle only unlocks your next level of power. Each difficulty, each setback serves as a necessary push to your transformation. When you pass through something, the world doesn't just go back to normal. You become someone new on the other side, equipped with new vision and strength. So when you start thinking of overcoming obstacles as the final step, think again. You're not at the finish line. You're on the edge of your next adventure, the next breakthrough. How many times have you faced something difficult and found that as soon as you overcome it, a new opportunity presents itself? This is how life works. Once you climb one mountain, you see the next. And with each mountain you conquer, you are not the same person who climbed the previous one. You've developed an insight and capacity you didn't have before. You've built an emotional, mental, and physical stamina that moves you beyond where you ever thought you could go. The key here is that your challenges don't just prepare you for the tests ahead. They redefine you. They push you beyond your limitations, making things that once seemed impossible now feel more within reach. Think about some of the most difficult moments in your life, the ones that made you question whether you had what it took to move forward. Chances are, looking back now, those moments weren't the end of your story. They were the beginning of a deeper understanding of yourself and your capabilities. The adversity you faced created new possibilities, new lessons, new skills that were lying dormant inside you. It was like preparing the ground to grow something you couldn't yet see. Those walls you hit were not to stop you. They were part of a hidden design to help you see what's inside you. So when you passed through them, you weren't just gaining victory over that particular situation. You were gaining tools, perspective, and inner strength for the future. This is the essence of leveling up. Leveling up isn't about putting an end to the struggle. It's about recognizing that when you push through, you become better equipped to take on the next challenge. The tests you pass don't just vanish. They don't fade away. They stay within you, anchoring you in new insights that form the foundation for even more significant victories. There's no need to fear the next challenge. When you've learned how to rise and gain clarity with each victory, there's a force inside you that knows you're ready. Each milestone you reach builds momentum for the next one, propelling you to higher heights than ever before. So many people in life get stuck because they're paralyzed by the fear of challenge. But when you embrace it, when you see it as a signpost toward your own personal transformation, there's no limit to what you can do. Do you think that athletes become great by avoiding competition? No. The greatest athletes in the world welcome the test because they know the value it brings. They embrace competition, adversity, and difficulty because with every challenge, they rise to a new level of mastery. It's this mindset that makes you stand out. When you get to the point of accepting that growth comes from tests, that each hurdle builds you into something better, you begin to take ownership of your journey. You start approaching life like a warrior, knowing that every difficult situation is another chance to emerge stronger. Life is full of tests, but they don't have the power to define you unless you allow them to. Rather than letting them hold you back, recognize that each one makes you who you're destined to be. You're not the same person today that you were a week ago, a year ago, or even 10 years ago. The things you've experienced, the lessons you've learned, the failures you've encountered, and the wins you've celebrated have all shaped you into someone more capable than you were before. There are no wasted experiences. Every test, no matter how hard it seemed in the moment, pushed you towards becoming the person you are today. And while those tests were difficult, painful at times, and even discouraging, they did not stop you from becoming who you are today. In fact, they led you here. They laid the foundation for the next chapter in your life. And with every challenge that's still ahead, you have the unique ability to tackle it differently because of what you've already passed. Each obstacle isn't just part of the struggle. It's a necessary ingredient for the greatness that lies ahead. There's something powerful that happens when you push past what you thought were your limits. You see, people often believe that resilience is only about holding on through tough times, trying to survive the storm. They think that once the struggle is over, that's it. Peace, calm, and relief. But what if I told you that true resilience isn't just about surviving the storm? It's about becoming stronger because of it. evolving in ways you didn't even know were possible. It's not just about holding on. It's about learning how to rise up even more powerful than you were before the storm ever started. This is what separates those who reach their potential from those who don't. It's this very resilience, this ability to endure and come back even stronger that builds you into someone who can tackle anything life throws your way. Too many people see setbacks and failures as roadblocks, thinking that they're the end of their journey, the point where they have to stop and reevaluate. But what they fail to realize is that those moments aren't the end at all. They're part of the process of becoming the person you're meant to be. Every time you face something difficult, it's an opportunity for you to learn, adapt, and grow in ways you would never have experienced if everything had been easy. Setbacks don't define you, they refine you. They carve out strength in your character and help you discover parts of yourself that were hidden. Every failure, every mistake, every no you hear, these are all part of the puzzle that leads you to your ultimate success. The truth is, it's easy to be resilient when things are going well, but the real test comes when the obstacles seem insurmountable, when everything you've worked for feels like it's falling apart. That's when your true strength is revealed. It's in those moments of adversity that you have the opportunity to build resilience, not just in the way you respond, but in how you rise. Resilience isn't just about bouncing back. It's about learning how to stand taller with more conviction after each challenge you face. It's about coming out on the other side with a stronger sense of purpose and a deeper understanding of who you are. When life hits hard and things seem out of control, that's when the real work begins. It's easy to lose sight of your goals when everything around you seems to be falling apart. But in those moments, you have to dig deep. You have to reconnect with that inner fire that pushed you to start in the first place. This is when you discover the true power of resilience. The power to keep moving forward even when the world seems to be conspiring against you. It's not about having everything figured out. It's about learning how to keep going even when you don't have all the answers. It's about showing up every day even when it feels like progress is slow or non-existent. The act of showing up in the face of adversity is a testament to your resilience, to your inner strength. Resilience doesn't come from a place of weakness. It comes from understanding that you can't always control your circumstances, but you can control how you respond to them. There will be times in life when things don't go according to plan, when everything you've worked for seems to be slipping through your fingers. But your ability to bounce back, to adapt and find a new path forward is what truly defines you. It's easy to give up when you're not seeing the results you want. It's easy to quit when things get tough. But true resilience is about staying the course, about staying committed to your vision even when the road is uncertain. And let's be clear about something. Resilience doesn't mean that you won't feel pain or frustration along the way. It doesn't mean that you won't question yourself or feel like giving up sometimes. Resilience isn't about being invincible or emotionless. It's about recognizing those feelings and continuing to move forward anyway. Resilience means that even when you feel broken, you know you have the strength to rebuild. It's about understanding that the struggle is a natural part of growth and that every time you overcome a difficulty, you come out on the other side not just stronger but wiser. What's even more remarkable is that the power of resilience often leads you to become someone who is unshakable, who no longer views obstacles as something to fear, but as opportunities to rise higher. There's a certain sense of confidence that comes with knowing that you've weathered storms before and come out stronger on the other side. This confidence is not arrogance. It's the quiet knowing that whatever happens next, you have the ability to handle it. This confidence is built from experience, from knowing that you have the strength, the wisdom, and the drive to face whatever comes your way. You may look at someone who seems unshakable, who seems to rise above every challenge with ease, and think they have it all figured out. But the truth is that person has been through their own struggles, their own hardships. They've faced their own storms and emerged stronger because they didn't allow the storms to break them. They understood that resilience is a skill, one that is honed through experience, through learning how to get back up every time life knocks you down. It's a skill that's developed over time through the accumulation of every obstacle you've faced and every lesson you've learned along the way. So the next time you face a challenge, don't see it as something that's standing in your way. See it as an opportunity to build your resilience. Every struggle is a chance to expand your capacity, to tap into a deeper well of strength. And when you come out on the other side, you'll be more prepared, more focused, and more equipped to handle whatever comes next. The more you face adversity and push through it, the more resilient you become. There is a power that comes with resilience that can't be overstated. It's the power to look at your circumstances and say, this will not define me. I will rise, I will adapt, I will move forward. It's the power to take setbacks and turn them into setups for something greater. It's the power to keep going even when the path ahead is unclear, because you know that each step is building the person you're meant to be. Resilience is the muscle that you build every time you push past your limits. It's what turns ordinary people into extraordinary individuals. It's the reason why the strongest, most successful people in the world didn't get there by avoiding challenges. They got there by embracing them and rising to the occasion every single time. There are moments in life when you're faced with choices that seem small, but carry the weight of who you're going to become. At the time, you may not recognize it. It's easy to think that these moments are trivial or inconsequential in the grand scheme of things, but the truth is that these choices, these small decisions, are the ones that end up shaping your future. When things get tough, when life is asking a lot from you, your character is revealed, not in the grand, heroic moments, but in the smaller, quieter decisions you make every single day. It's about how you respond to each challenge that comes your way, how you push through moments of doubt, how you stay focused when everything around you seems chaotic. The choice is yours. You can let the difficulties of life hold you back, or you can use them as stepping stones to create the person you want to be. It's easy to make excuses when things aren't going according to plan. The world seems unfair, the deck feels stacked against you, and sometimes it feels as though no one is noticing the effort you're putting in. But here's the reality. Success isn't defined by how well everything goes when things are perfect. Success is defined by how you show up when everything seems impossible. The people who thrive in life, who truly achieve greatness, are the ones who don't back down when the challenges are the toughest. They're the ones who don't give in to fear or self-doubt. They know that every choice they make is either pushing them toward who they're meant to become or holding them back. And every choice they make is backed by the understanding that the power to change everything lies in their hands. The most important thing in life is how you handle adversity. It's not about having the perfect circumstances. It's about developing the resolve to keep going when everything around you says to quit. Life has a way of testing you, challenging your faith in yourself, testing your trust in your path. And while it may not seem like it, every single test you face is revealing something about you, something you can't necessarily see right now, but that will become clear with time. The greatest growth happens when we face our fears, when we push past the limits of what we think is possible. It's easy to think that achieving your dreams or getting to your goals is about simply finding the right time or having the right tools or resources. The truth, though, is that it's about what you do with what you've got. When you look at your circumstances, what do you see? Do you see them as obstacles, things that are blocking you from moving forward, things that prevent you from getting where you want to be? Or do you see them as opportunities for growth? Every difficulty you face has something valuable to teach you. Sometimes the greatest lessons come from the hardest trials, the ones that test your faith, your resilience, and your belief in your own potential. In those moments, you have to remind yourself that what you're facing is not your final destination. It's just part of the journey. Challenges come and they feel overwhelming, but if you start to shift your perspective, you begin to see each test as part of the process that shapes you. These challenges don't define you, they refine you. They test your strength, your character, and your will to keep moving forward even when it seems like everything is going wrong. This is where the real work lies, in staying consistent, in doing what you know is necessary even when you don't feel like it. When things get hard, it's easy to lose motivation or get discouraged. But it's in those moments of difficulty that the real test begins. When you decide not to give up, when you choose to rise and take action in the face of adversity, that's when you're making progress. That's when you're expanding what's possible for your life. It's never about being perfect. It's about getting back up each time you fall, learning from what didn't work, and taking those lessons forward. The key is persistence, the ability to keep going, to take consistent action toward your goals, even when it seems like nothing is happening on the surface. Persistence is the backbone of success. Without it, everything crumbles. It's not about making giant leaps or taking huge risks. It's about putting in the work every single day, knowing that your effort is building something powerful, even if you can't see the results right away. When you take those consistent steps, no matter how small they may seem, they begin to accumulate, and over time, they lead you exactly where you need to be. And you can't measure progress by the immediate outcomes. True progress is often invisible, working quietly in the background, showing up in ways that you might not see until you look back years later and realize how far you've come. One of the most critical decisions in life is the decision to keep going. In any journey, there will be days when you feel like giving up, when the weight of everything seems too much to handle. The difference between those who succeed and those who don't is that the successful people find a way to keep moving forward even when they don't feel like it. They make the choice to keep going even when it feels like progress is slow. And with each step they take, they come one step closer to realizing their full potential. No one ever truly achieves greatness by playing it safe or avoiding discomfort. Every success story is marked by trials, setbacks, and times when the path ahead seemed uncertain. The beauty of resilience is that it's not about avoiding struggles, but about learning how to move through them with grace, power, and confidence. It's about choosing to grow, to see beyond the difficulty, and trust that every moment you push forward, you're shaping a future filled with opportunities that you can't yet see. So, whenever life knocks you down, you have to ask yourself, what am I going to do now? The answer is always the same. Keep going. No matter how small the step, no matter how hard it feels, you've got to keep putting one foot in front of the other. Over time, those small steps accumulate and you look up to see just how much you've achieved. What makes successful people different from the rest isn't their resources or abilities, it's their mindset, their ability to make decisions when things are hard and to keep pressing forward no matter what. The difference lies in how they respond to the tough times. The choice they make to persevere, to continue showing up, to keep moving even when things are uncertain. This is what creates not just success, but character. And the strength of that character is what ultimately leads them to achieve what seemed impossible. Well, life will always challenge you, always test you, but how you respond to those challenges, the decisions you make when things are tough, will be what determines where you end up. And if you choose to keep going, to remain committed to your vision no matter how hard it gets, you will ultimately reach the destination that is waiting for you on the other side of resilience.